language and stuff like that, and she still do what she wants to do. Anyway, so my name is Jamie Fang for all the new members, and for all the old members that would like to really forget my name is Jamie Fang. You can catch our podcast at YouTube. Please subscribe under Norman's Orchids. Yeah, just Norman's Orchids. I got a thumbs up from the director here. That's my only thing that I have to say every time. And I forget half of it. Anyways, I'm not sure Grandma's watching. Grandma, thank you for keeping Hannah for like 6 hours yesterday. I was frantically trying to get the special blue jumper posted. She's no trouble, but it was just nice not to have her run around behind me every 2 seconds. So today, since it's Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to all the, actually tomorrow, sorry. It's been Mother's Day every day. Roger's giving me this look. Cameraman, that's not your job. That's his job. So anyways, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. For all the mothers, grandmothers, fur babies, everybody, happy Mother's Day. Today, I guess we're just going to do a quick arrangement. I know you guys are all dying for the walking tour, but we'll do that next week. This week it's a little chaotic with retail and everybody here. I don't want to trip over anybody. So, do we have a lot of people on? Or is it just me talking to myself all the time? We're good? Sounds good. Everybody's good. I'd like to welcome a lot of new members, and obviously all the old member as well that's been with us for a year. We had grown so much with each other and bonded as an orchid family, support each other through thick and thin, through apartment fires, through everything. So I really appreciate that. As we approaching the end of the pandemic, I hope. I think we'll still continue to do this. We'll see how the response is for everybody. We'll continue to still do the podcast until you want us to stop. We're obviously will stop until Norman's traveling. If Norman's travel, we'll probably still have special guests, or Jeff will come on with his lights again. Myself, we'll put Roger to talk about something. Roger could talk about his LED lights in his office. Hey. Shh. Okay, so today we're going to do just a simple Mother's Day arrangement for Mom. So I just grab, again, just a few plants. We're going to try to wing it. Got myself a container. You guys can use any container. Now the first thing you do, you're trying to see if you need to prop this up or not. Maybe this way it's better for you to see. See, this is too low. So ideally, I like the arrangement, the rim of the pot to be on the same level as your container. Can you see this? This is very important now, because I see a lot of arrangements are submerging like this. When you go water on top of moss, everything pours into the crown. So a lot of arrangement, when people take it apart, the plant is rotted. Because when you water 5 or 6 plants in that, you can't really see what you're doing. Everything goes on the top. And it's not like when you water individually, you could kind of tilt it to get rid of the crown. And again, the good hint is, see, the flower are going sort of to my left. So you got to go with the gravity of the flower, right? The crown's here, where the water should be flowing this way. I see everybody going the opposite way, and then that's how they break the flower spike. This might be easier to show. Obviously, the crown's here. You want to get rid of excess water. Oh, a lot of you guys dip it and grab tissues, but when I'm in the greenhouse of a bench of 500 plant, I don't have enough tissue to dab. So I pick it up and just tilt it and let the water comes out. But see, the flowers are going with the gravity. A lot of people, most 90% of the people go this way, and they wonder why they snap the branch. Okay, that's a very important. And our plant are wired with those nice fancy wire that we try to sell you. So our wire is not to be seen. It's there to support. So all of our plant looks more livelier with, you know, the bounds versus a thick wire that it looks so stiff, and the whole arrangement becomes very stiff. Again, my tip of the day today is tilt with the gravity, okay? Do not do this way. Watch, I'll probably break it. I'm gonna hold on to it. But see how when you do this, without supporting it, your flower is gonna snap for sure. Okay? So the flower is going toward the left. If you want to do this, tilt to the left with the flower. So all the water will come out from the crown. Okay, that is your major tip of the day. So as we discussed, I need to prop this up a little bit. Hi, Jess. Jess, you could have my seat. And you can hold Hannah if you want. We have a guest. My favorite Jess is here. I've been trying to tell her to come. Jess, if you want to hold her, you can unhook her and she'll just sit with you. She's barking at Jessica to pick her up. It's on her neck. On her neck, yeah. So again, so what do we have to do? We could use either more bark, or some people use rock if you have rock. I just grab foam. And we live in a condo. Roger and I were forever looking in recycle bins and picking up more foam. We're probably caught on cameras like, there goes Jamie dipping her head in the trash can again, trying to get foam for the company. Yeah, Annabelle. So, there you go. That is exactly what we need, I believe. See, it's up to the rim. We're good to go. And another time, when I have the foam, I love it. When you over water, everything goes down to where the foam is, so they're not sitting in water. That's another good thing about having foam or rock elevated, because everybody tends to over water. And with this, when it has stepped up a little bit, the excess water will go down, and then they're not sitting in water. Unlike the dendrobium, the phalli don't like to sit in water. So I just grab a few. Again, I'm going to kind of do it on my side. And then I'll turn it around and show you what I did. I just kind of grab it. We're going to have to make it work. How's it going, Norman? Norm. Mm-hmm. I sent Norman to my herbalist or acupuncture, where she gave me this lovely bruise. But you feel much better, right? Don't you? I guess Norman could share later. Norman's like, I don't share. Hannah, stop barking, please. It was painful, wasn't it? But it helped. No pain, no gain. That's what we said all the time. No pain, no gain. I love it. Look at Eric got me make me a big lazy Susan. Jeff, you could actually sit on here. We'll spin you around later for fun.
That's exactly what I want to do. I can't wait.
You can't wait, right? Yeah, I had a dream. You told me that you want to sit on my lazy Susan and go for a spin, since Magic Mountain is not open yet.
It's just like the teacups.
The teacups, that's right, the teacups. Okay, I think this is good. I actually could have put more plants in here, but I didn't bring enough flowers. Should I go get another one? Okay, I could go get another one. And again, remember, when you're pushing the plant in, don't push the spike or the plant. You got to push the plant itself. If you push the spike, guarantee you're gonna snap the spike. Almost forgot to bring the phone with me. I'll be right back. So how's everybody doing? Everybody's good? 我阿姨我一颗需要一颗那个兰花小的，你刚才给我一颗小的太哦，再给我一颗好了。小的矮的，呀、yeah. 还是有再一颗红的，再一颗红的。Sorry, I'm all speaking Chinese. 阿姨。 I wonder what Hannibal's gonna get me for Mother's Day tomorrow. Like eyeballs lit up, like in Roger's eyes, like whoops. We were actually shopping the other night, and then Roger's like trying to hide something. You know, he's moving his arm left and right, left and right. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, nothing, nothing. Okay, fine. Hannah's trying to buy you something for Mother's Day. I'm like, could you do this without me? Voila, I think we're good. So that's what we got so far. And now I shove everything, and now I got to clean everything up, right? This is actually already sold for a client I haven't had time to do. So I'll probably have this ready and have her pick it up. She is not a grower. She's one of those beautiful instant gratification. After I look at the orchid, everything goes to the trash kind of customer. So I'm going to use a razor blade to clean up the leaves. I don't have to change blades because these essentially are just over-the-counter supermarket stuff for her that she doesn't grow. So I don't have to change 5 blades and probably end up cutting myself. I just want to say that before you guys all criticize me that she did not change her blade at all. But with this customer, and the tip of how to cut a leaf, I don't know if Jessica see it, you want to cut the same way as the leaf is. So look, can't hardly tell we cut it. Most people will do one of those slides like this. Most people do this, and obviously it looks like you just chopped the hell out of it. So I was known the best plastic surgeon in LA when I had the shop. Then you clean it to a point that you can't tell I just butcher the leaf. So that's tip of the day. Well, I can't say of the day. We did it twice. Second tip of the day. And again, this is instant gratification. A lot of leaves sometimes is no good. I clean it up. I have way too much leaf in here, so I don't care if it's healthy or not healthy. Usually at the shop, this is purely commercial movie studio kind of work, okay? It's not for a grower, so it's going to be one of those Norman thing that everybody freaked out and go, oh my God, I can't believe she just cut off a good leaf. You know, if it's too crowded, my arrangement's not going to look good. And here I am, almost chopped my fingers off. Yeah, you just basically want to thin it out a little bit because when there's too much leaf, it's not pretty. Again, one blade for all of it because I'm just going to toss this blade out just like she's going to toss. She doesn't even keep the basket. She just kind of go, boom, everything goes to the trash kind of lady. The basket and everything. So I think Hannah, it's just Norman. Oh, Norman's got buttercup. Oh, no, chestnut. Oh no, chestnut's making an appearance. That's why she's having to cow. So we pretty much just clean up the root system. I mean, the leaves. But now we're gonna kind of clean the roots as well. And then here was a tip we did before when you want to take a leaf off. Remember, you cut it. Hannah, stop it. I'm gonna put you with, honey, Norman. She's not liking chestnut. Norman's like, you take her out of here, not my chestnut. Battle of the cousins.
She's gonna get banned from the nursery.
Hannah, you're gonna get banned. You're gonna stay LA, or maybe stay at grandma all day. How's that? How is that? Here's my blade. I don't have my scissors, so I'm gonna, again, I could tuck these root system in, because you remember these clients just want to see orchids, and they're very clean. Every customer has their own taste. Some likes it busy, some likes it very clean and prestige, no stick, no nothing. Some likes it busy. The more the merrier. And this one is middle of the row, whatever you like to do, Jamie. I don't care. So I just cut it perfectly, get a good leaf out. But I'm just trying to thin it out so it's not too much. Okay. So I have to just clean it up. I have to somehow secure this, so because now they're all flopped open like you just. Is that Van? Hi Van. So you always got to have your main point. This is your. The middle is your background, so that'll be your gauge. So kind of you start like this, then you can start pulling your left and right because you got to be able to see every orchid there is. So I'm just gonna do my handy dandy wire that I have from the shop. Everything is so flexible, and I'm sorry I need to borrow this side for a minute. You could use this with fresh willow. I don't like the fresh willow because if it's not in the water, the willow dies. So half arrangement look dead. I use artificial sticks that you could use over and over. Once you buy a good one, you could use over and over. I don't have a lot of, as always, I never have all the props with me. Is there a twist tie there? Where? In here?
No. Where Norman's side is.
Okay. Ow. Pain today. Oh, yes. Feeling my age this week. Working non-stop. So I got some twist tie. I do what I can. Sometimes they're a little too short. I just kind of extend it myself. There you go. It's a lot longer. Because I'm trying to twirl between these thick wire sticks. Hannah, stop. You're making me look bad. Rod Norman's all happy. Roger, that's your child, okay? Can you control your child? Here. She's gonna go toward Chestnut. Hannah, Hannah. Hannah. Little booger. Anything special going on for Mother's Day? Jess, what are you doing for Mother's Day? What are the kids doing? You have, oh, it's a surprise.
Maybe, I hope so.
I hope so. Hey, no. Do you guys do something or?
Yeah,
Usually? Okay, good.
COVID, we used to go
Yeah.
outside, but I don't know.
You might get some scrambled eggs or something tomorrow morning. So that's what we got so far. And also, it also depends where she puts it. Where I know where she puts it is just like a big, like a entryway, you know, so it could take the width. If you're going into the alcove, you're gonna have to shrink it down. You know, you're gonna have to make everything toward you, the front. So when you do a design, you always have where you want to put in mind before you start making it. This lady likes it look big, so that's why the arrangement is going to be more wider in width. So we have just one of these wire already secure your arrangement. So you don't have to do so much to make things look busy. Something simple will work. And since it's Mother's Day, I'm just gonna add some faux stuff. You know, here's another way to beef it up, if you will. If not, I could have put in 2 more orchids, but she has a budget, so I gotta work within her budget. And when you get a shear, get the right one, otherwise you're going to get carpal tunnel surgery like I have. But mine is over 30 years of cutting, so it's not that bad. So that's what we got going on already in the front. We already filled it. So I don't like to waste anything, so I'm probably going to use this sticks too. Annabelle, Yeah. So we have no support on these yet, so I like to probably prop it back. So we'll use this as a support. And all the wires I have at the shop, look, they're so easily to bend. Whenever I to go to gift shows, when I buy sticks, each cases of each the same stick would be $288. And when I started going 15 years ago, I used to pull them and they have them stapled to the board. I go, you're gonna have to change this. You need to be able to, so they, all the company who I buy from change it to Velcro. So I need to be able to pull it and do my test. If they're stick as a doorknob, like if you go to the cheaper stores, they're so stiff, you can't use it. So I could pretty much guarantee those sticks are not gonna look so lively if you can't maneuver it. You'll find sticks at $1.99 and then they're so stiff you can't even cut it, you can't bend it, you can't do anything. So that then you force your arrangement to work with that stick versus that stick working for you. So see, I'm just gonna put this, you always have to anchor to the bottom first and then tie it, otherwise you can't work with it. You have to tell them you're the boss, sort of. So now you have it anchored tight. Now be careful when you do this, you don't whack a flower off. So I'm gonna just bend it. And then I'm gonna, you wanna see where your flower is. You wanted to see how wide or see how we were able to maneuver now just by tying the base. Once you anchor the base, you're good to go. So I want it this closer. So Eric is busy with retail. We got here at 9 o'clock. There were 3 people in the front at 9 o'clock, each with a full cart ready to go home at 9 o'clock. So that's all I do with the extras. I'm pulling it in. I'm just gonna tie it. And here I go again. More twist tie. Oh. It's been a year and a half since I had a massage, Roger. Still too early for me to go get a massage. Hi, Hannah. Hannah, you want to sit here? And then we'll just go for a spin. Okay. What do you guys think? Jess, you like it? Oh, you want a picture? Later on, we'll probably put a picture against this backdrop. So, and she likes butterflies, so I found this beaded butterfly that I sell. Oh, one time, I forgot which movie it was. Jim Carrey was supposed to get eaten or attacked by the bees. So I sold the movie 10,000 bees so they could put it in front of their big movie fan and then threw the bees and fake bees in the air and then it blew at him, so pretend like he was getting attacked by the bees. So that's the fun stuff. I sometimes get jobs like I need big butterfly. I need 10,000 little beads, but the beads with the black on them, not just yellow bead. It has to be the black stripy beads. Weird request, but of course I always find it. Just give me a minute, then you could have your picture. I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, so I have a gap here, so I'm thinking this might be the perfect spot to put my butterfly. You think? Holes? I can't see. Roger, is that a good spot? Yeah? A little bit higher? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, here's a trick about hiding these. Yeah, he should be here today. See this? Norman, be nice. So we're gonna try to anchor this. Usually we do the hot glue thing at work, but again, I had to turn on the hot glue. How's that? Good? Good spot? I have all the lovely assistants today. So, okay, so this will be her Mother's Day present. Well, not present. It's from her husband or the kids to mom. I will just moss this later. I have my little fancy dandy color moss. Jess, are you staying for the whole podcast? You are? Okay. So later on, I'm going to have you move to the white chair when I switch over. Did you see your plant? Yeah. We had a little scare. We're like, where's Jess's plant? We forgot to bring it home. It's still in LA. I still have a lot of blues on. I was surprised that they're still there, but I think a lot of people are still having problem finding the jumpers. Tomorrow's sanded jumper is going to be beautiful too. Jeff and I are forever trying to figure out what Facebook is doing to us. Jeff, you still haven't found the solution to help everybody find where the video is, right? Jeff spent so much time putting in an order. Hi. How are you? I know it's you. We have a lot of VIP. I mean, huh? Yeah, you go, not this aisle, the next aisle. Yeah, follow this way and sit over there. What did she see?
She found
Did she
the
see
chestnut.
chestnut? So we have a few people here. Hi, Van. Who do you have here?
Nicole's here in the back.
Nicole's here. I already said hi to Nicole. So I have one stick left. Let's just put it in. And I think we're done for Mother's Day.
Okay.
And this will be our Mother's Day arrangement.
Nicole?
Mr. Fang, are you ready?
Where's your cat? Where's your cat?
I don't have a cat. Here,
Where's your
let me show
cat?
you.
You want to meet?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at Chestnut. Hey, knock it off. Knock it off.
Chestnut's been a
Chestnut.
gentleman. Look at him.
Oh. She's like, ah. Did you see that? Here, take your son away. Here.
It's my second today.
He just went and gave me that.
He's F4
Oh.
hybrid.
Oh, look at Hannah. All right, guys, happy Mother's Day. We'll see you, and we're going to the other side of the podcast. Take it away, Norman. And just gonna sit
Okay.
over there. I'm gonna sit in my chair.
Hi.
And Jeff, do I just push the button?
Hey. Okay. Are we on? Hi, everybody. My name is Norman Fang, and this is my chestnut. Chestnut is an F4 hybrid, and it's kind of tied together with today's orchid talk. We're going to talk about some of the orchid that we have, actually F3, and this is F4. F4 means the fourth generation, and Bengal cat is the hybrid of Asian leopard cat, the wild cat, and that's how they got the spot. And I got this from my friend, the breeder, Anthony Gao. And so this is F4. So there's a fourth generation. So they domesticated. They crossed the Asian leopard cat with the domestic cat, and actually was bred in California. And so this is F4, and they're very tame usually until they see chestnut. I know. I try to have a helmet on her, but it's too small now because chestnut is now almost full grown, 15 pound. Okay, bye. Say goodbye. Okay, today, last week, did we talk about the asexual propagation of orchid? It was the last week or the week before? 2 weeks ago, okay. So this week, we're going to talk about the sexual part, the propagation. So can you see this picture here, this is why we do hybrid. Okay, this is from one seed pod. Okay, and this is GW Green Wall by from Golden Rose, and I believe it's on the website. So when you do it asexual, making a hybrid, just like even the evolution can be a cat, dog, they're gonna have variation. Okay, so this is all from one seed capsule, and for me, my job is, if Jamie did not steal it for the podcast, which you should do that. But we have so many. Like this one here, we must have about 300-400. And Jamie does is she will try to pull the best one for her customer in this jumper. And sometimes if I'm home, I would say, okay, I would take a look. But there are a lot of time when I'm not home, a lot of the award quality brand I should slip through and went to Jamie's jumper. So this is a perfect example of for my job as a grower and hybridizer is trying to find out potential plant material or clone for tissue culture. For example, this is very example of the pot parent, the GW Green Wall, the Harlequin one, okay? And the other parent is the solid yellow ones. That's why you have some of the seeding resemble of the pollen parent, which is the yellow one, okay? So if you have hybrid, even though it could be a Harlequin hybrid, that flower come out to be non-Harlequin, don't call me, don't tell me saying, Norman, you have a mixed label. Well, this is what the fun part about hybrid from seed, because everything is possible. And especially a lot of this, we're now in a lot of the Phalaenopsis now today are what we call F10 now, the 10th generation. They're about at least 10 generations away from the species parent. Okay, so imagine that all the possibility of DNA combination. So there can be a lot of possibility. There can be not much spotting, not much Harlequin, but just equally as good. So what I usually like, I really like this cross. So what I can do is to make a sibling. When we say sibling, is mean taking one. I like this color. The reason I like this one here because look how compact the leaf out of the whole bunch, and they still give it a beautiful orange color. So when I'm making a cross of this one and this one here, and that eventually we will if whoever made the hybrid, and if the hybridizer did not want to register, and we will ask for permission to register, and sometimes they will register of their whatever they like. Sometimes they put their company name there. That's why you have a Yafan brother. But I usually don't like to do that because that kind of everything start look the same, too commercialized. I like to name after for particular person. And yesterday somebody introduced me a show in Netflix called Brink Empire. I don't know if you've seen that, but kind of cute name for Orchid. And I have a Phalaenopsis that named after Bengal cat. So then I can have Phalaenopsis Bengal cat variety, chestnut, or kind of fun. So if I'm making this two hybrid together, so this is what we call the sibling. Okay, it's A cross with B because they're still the same genetic combination, so we're sibling. Another thing that we do is trying to reinforce a particular strand, a particular color. Like for example, this is very desirable also. Then we can do a soften, and orchid is the most advanced of all the plant kingdom. They have male and female together. So this is the ender cap here. Okay. So this is the male part, and I'm going to remove the lip so you can expose to the column. Okay, can you see this? This is the inside here is a column, and it usually have a stick in it, and down here is called the ovary. Okay, so if I remove the enter cap, Phalaenopsis only had 2 enter. Okay. And this enter cap have the stickiness to it. Okay, do you see this? The tip, the 2 yellow. Oops, I went down there. So I usually do you can do a toothpick. I do the you can get some stickiness from here. And I'm going to take the enter from the flower again. You see the enter? Let me put it here. How is it? Do you see the 2 yellow enter? Right here? You got it? Okay. And I'm going to put it inside this column here. Okay, it's inside now. Okay, then we're going to make a label. And I put the label already down. Okay, so the label will usually say the first line of the label is what we call the pot parent, the female, the one that carry the seed pod. And then the second line, this is the same thing with the label that you get from our company. The second line is usually the pollen parent, the male. So this is what we call the selfing. Okay, so the selfing is when the breeder trying to reinforce the particular strain. In this case, I like these really dominant brooches. So by doing the selfing of it, the next generation, because this one is a female, in genetic, traditionally female, it will be more dominant in carry on the gene. So this, the generations, the selfing from this, more than 50% of it will be more on the broochish side versus the yellow. Okay, so, all right, so then you can have what we call sibling, selfing, and the next one is, another thing we usually like to do is select potential for breeding purpose. This is what we call the breeder's plan. Breeder's plan doesn't mean they have to be award quality. Okay, this is what we call the breeder's plan. All these are genetically equal, but this one, for some reason, it has 3 spikes. So 3 flower spikes at the same time. So they tell me the plant genetically are more vigorous than the rest of their population. And this is why when you buy orchid, this is why you buy from Norman, we buy from Fred Croft for his catasetum. We have a very good gene pool, and we actually spend a lot of time studying, collecting, and understand the genetic. Orchid just like orchid breeding, just like data entry, garbage in, garbage out. The label sometimes say, oh yeah, Norman, what's your difference between your tetraploid versus the tetraploids I can get from eBay? First of all, you don't know where the genetic come from. Okay, just because it has Phalaenopsis tetraploids, by name it is a species, but the tetraploids that you get from me, I can guarantee you, it's probably the best, not only the best in America, but also probably best in the world now, because I spent a good 20 years to collect and constant updating the gene pool, and also every generation. So I'm actually at the almost F4, the 4th generation of the tetrapolis now. And tetrapolis is another wonderful fun species that is very given. And now we can have tetrapolis blue, red, coffee, spotted, and candy stripe. But we still want to retain that genetic material that very disease resistant and so on. So this is how we like to offer seeding. But as long as people understand in genetic, seeding a variation, and we cannot guarantee. If you want something that guarantee what the flower looks like, there's a MC stand for merichrome. That's a tissue culture. They are chrono propagated, and that's why we talked about 2 weeks ago on the asexual propagation. And so one of the pop parent, the GW green wall that make this hybrid is available on the website. Okay, you can buy them. It's going to be a collector item now, because I think it will be soon to be one of the top 10 classic harlequin, because it's now make wonderful hybrid. So a lot of people are buying them because we have some. They don't even have it in Asia anymore. They sold out, but we tissue culture some ourselves because people want to get them, because now you have a really good tracking record of them making wonderful hybrid. All the hybrid I seen with GW Greenwald, there is no bad hybrid in there. So that means it's a good breeder's plant. All right. So I'm going to show you. So this is a little bit what we do, and I'm going to show you a little bit about life cycle. Okay. And this is usually where they started from here. So once the seed pod, if they take, the seed pod will swallow like this here. That this is the one that Brian did back in January 3rd, last time he was here. Okay, so he's taking the seed pod here. Okay, so this is the species Amabilis, the 24-hour fragrance. Okay, I'm going to show you the leaf. This is the one with a beautiful leaf. Okay, but a lot of people ask me, if orchid are in flower, do you feed them? And I say, oh yeah. Do you not? How many meals can you skip a day, a week? Especially when orchid are in flower, make sure you feed them regularly. Or if you decide to carry making a hybrid of yourself, before you get too excited, study the species, and then make sure that you can have locally you have a laboratory. You can send the flask for tissue culture, because you cannot just well, first of all, if you see any seed for sale on eBay, the 100 orchid seed for $4.99, free shipping, is a hoax. Okay, there's a microscopic orchid seed does not have an embryo like other corn seed. They cannot germinate the seed by themselves in the wild, in anywhere. So they have to have aseptic condition in the tissue culture like media. So this is, inside here is all aseptic, it's all clean. So this is like a tissue culture media that fertilizes, for example, and that way they can germinate the seed in the wild with the right. The flower. In the wild, they might have the natural fungi that would help the germination. But if you do decide to taking care of the mother stock like this is also very important too. I usually, because this plant, okay, is one of this is the mother plant, the original plant that we make the 24-hour fragrant princess. This is the mother plant. This is like, how old this one is? This must be about 15 years old. Okay, so it had been carry a lot of seed pod throughout the year. So I noticed that because I cannot repot them because it carries seed pod, but the leaf root is decent. So they have beautiful leaf. But I'm not going to, I might put more seed pod here. But what I usually do is I'm gonna try to preserve the plant. I'm gonna cut off some of the spike because there is a lady post on our group today of Phalaenopsis modesta that actually had yellow stress on the leaf. Sometimes the orchid, like Phalaenopsis for example, they flower so long, and then they can flower themselves to death. Okay, so what you need to do is, depending on situation, if the plants are young, and you have the plant for more than 6 months, and it's a small plant, make your logical decision. Do you want to lose the plant, or do you want to continue to flower? But when they're in flower stage, they keep blooming. All the energy go to the flowering stage here. They're not going to put a new leaf. So this is a very mature plant. So they still can carry seed pod. So they're going to continue to have more seed pods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I don't want too many flowers. It's going to take a lot of strength on that. That's okay. Smell. So the 24 of this one here, this has been blooming since last year. And with the right temperature, greenhouse is cooler, they can be flower for 2-3 years. And so this is the way I preserve the energy. You know, if you let them carry seed pod and continue to flower, and I see the plant should have been repotted this year, but because the carry seed pod cannot. So this is a decision to make a choice. Okay.
How long until the seed pod is ready?
Huh?
How long until the seed pod is ready?
Yes, that's a good question, Jennifer. Yeah, anyway. The seed pod usually about 4 to 5 months for the Phalaenopsis. And how many of you have the blue dragonfly? Okay, this is the first premiere of the blue dragonfly seed pod. Now that looks like a cigar, right? So this genetic is different.
Holy crap!
Novelty Phalaenopsis, Bonina, Violacea, the summer blooming one, they have big seed pod, cigar. And this type, the seed pod can carry from 8 months up to a year. So this one was propagated from September. Yeah, was done by my assistant September 19. Yes.
Did you do another dragonfly with another dragonfly, or what did you do as a top secret?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, I'll go look at the. I'll go look at the tag.
Oh no, you can get there. No, but this is actually, judging from here, how do we tell is it ready or not? It's here. This is the ovary earlier. Okay, this is the part enlarged ovary, and if you see any sign of kind of yellowish, light green yellow, that means it's ready. But there's 2 ways we can send the seed pod for the laboratory. There's 2 ways we can do, well, this one here, right? This is actually, I cut it down. This is what we call a green pot culture. Okay, this is ready to go in. Okay, so the capsule, the seed inside the capsule still sterile. So it's lab technicians love to do this because it's a lot easier for them to clean, to disinfect the surface. Okay, but for novelty Phalaenopsis like this type, first of all, I do not have any data. How long? Okay, if I cut it too early, the embryo culture, this is what we call embryo culture, the seed might not be ready. So it'll be what we call too early. So even if you take it to the laboratory, when they cut it, it'll be just a bunch of white cotton-like and nothing inside. Okay, so what I usually want to do with this one here, I do not have any data on young dragonfly. Okay, because I do have a little black book. No, it's not my dating record. Okay, but all the record of all the plant have, yes, we do have a little black book. This is why a lot of times the little black book and any hybridizer, when they die, they pass on. They say they have a record of all the one. When do we pollinate it? daytime, nighttime, or evening. How long is this particular plant will be good as a pollen parent or pup parent. These are the trade secret of any commercial orchid fern. And they usually, and this is true, not many people before me, they don't even do podcasts like this that I share. They take it with them. 6 feet under. Okay. Anyway, so this is why I will share, but I do not have a data yet. Okay. But traditionally, this type of young dragonfly, oh, there's a flower here. See here? We love and we like the domination. So this is better, always better to use as a pup parent to carry the seed pod, because the mama. Yeah, you should do a selfie. Oh no, Jamie. Oh my God, Roger, she's not gonna sleep now.
I don't sleep as it is.
Now she gonna eat. Now you can do some selfie. Can do some sibling. You can do because all the best dragonfly. I don't have it. She has it. Okay. So now Jamie, you can do a strand. Some of the dragonfly is solid lavender, solid blue, right? Yeah, and then some of it's more on the copper tone. So now she can breed her strand of umbrella. You know this. So I think the dragonfly is going to be busy like Jennifer Palermo. Okay, so this is a fun part. And when I make hybrid, I just don't get excited at night and get a toothpick and have a toothpick sex. No, we do a lot of study, research, and look at some of the past record or the breeding record. This is another one I'll be working with. Okay. And this is, I want to show you, this is Phalaenopsis stewardeniana. Okay, and I might have shown this before. I want to talk. This is probably the best stewardeniana from the wild. And this is whole handpicked. This is breed for the silver leaf strain of stewardeniana. We are not trying to get the best spotted lip on stewardeniana, but we actually breed from these 3 plants here, including this one. Okay, for example, this one has been breed, and this one has carried the seed pod from the 24 hours. So I'm trying to create, because the 24-hour Amarbalus have the silver leaf, and this is the stewardeniana with a green silver leaf strain. So we try, the next generation is Amarbalus, 24-hour fragrant one, onto stewardeniana, the green leaf. From that population, what I'm hoping for is to find a couple identify seeding, which means I will come out at night to sniff the flower. To hopefully I can find one that have the 24-hour fragrance. So we might have next generation of fragrant one. Okay. Number one, if fragrant during the day, or if they have fragrant or 24 hours. The worst got worse, there will be some beautiful, amazing marking on the foliage. Okay. So, and this is the fun part. So this is all Phalaenopsis stewardeniana, and I bet you never see that. This is actually, this is the one I'm going to send it to tissue culture for cloning, for asexual, because I like the leaf, so compact, and still pack up a big spray of flower. Most of the time in the stewardeniana from that we have here before is a big leaf, and then this, and they all don't have this beautiful marking on the leaf here. Okay, so this is what I do. Okay, I do not have time to jumper, and Jamie kind of found her own niche to do the jumper. Okay, so after the lab, we take it to the laboratory. So they will stay 4 to 6 months on the mother stock. We take it to the laboratory. By the time we get to the final stage, that usually is another year, minimum year. Okay, so they will do the lab technician will do what we call the mother flask. Okay, the one or two mother flask. We usually start with 2 mother flasks, just in case one will contaminate it. You never start put all your egg in one basket. So we start with 2 mother stock. If we have sufficient, if we don't have not sufficient, we will request the lab to do not this small, but do as many small jars as possible and get spread out. And then the lab technician will give me a data, a lot of C, not a lot of C, and I will the data entry that into my little bread book. So that way we have a record of one particular plant. And all this, before they go into my bench, see, this is the one that Jamie cannot touch now. It says not for sale, okay, Jamie? And they will have a corner name. Okay, I know where you live, Jamie. So they will have a corner name. The corner name has all the data of their breeding record on that. Okay, so then, but a lot of times, this is why we don't take people to the back or let people go to the back uncontrolled, because sometimes they just remove the label and go to the sales area and they say, oh, this is for sale. No, so this is why we don't, unless you are appointment, when people go to the back, and I don't think people never been to the back before, right? There's no Wi-Fi there. Yeah, too bad. Anyway, so, no, it's actually good. It's all good. Then the lab will tell me they don't have a lot of flasks. I say, if you don't have low germination, I said, as many as possible. So that means sometimes I might only end up with 5 flasks. Okay, so when we had the one seed pot only have 1 flask, we might have to grow every one of them. Or a lot of time lately, if you put it on the hybrid and then you have a note, Norman, I type in, there's only one person put a note there. I will type in note, let's say limited or limited seeding. I usually would release maybe 25 to share, because I don't want to put too many, so we kind of share with everybody. It's only good to share, because if you have one hybrid, and I've seen it with a lot of nurseries in America before, everything is not for sale, and they keep it all to themselves. And the only way the plant is going to get well known and well hybridized is when you distribute across the United States or over the world. That way other breeders have a chance also make their hybrid. But in the old days, because of supply and demand, they wanted artificial control the market. And this is why I mentioned this many times. In the 80s, in the 60s and 70s, yeah, the tissue culture media is that they will lock the media in the safe. And this is how they, and if you don't have a tissue culture laboratory, you cannot propagate orchid. Okay, especially the monocot like Phalaenopsis, you cannot make division like Cattleya or Cymbidium. So by the time you see this is 1 year, and I haven't done this for a while, but how much time we have? We okay? Okay. Why don't you take this out? It's sterile. This is 5-cent solution. It's at 1 teaspoon per gallon. Okay. It kind of loosen up, you see. And if you do this at home, actually it's the easiest way. There's one way to do it, but I think it's too big right now. I usually do it with chopstick, 1 by 1. But with it, chopstick's not a good way to do it because they're already too big. In the process of taking it up, you break the foliage. also. And especially, this is the flask, is Phalaenopsis violacea indigo. And you know, indigo leaves very soft, very tender. It's not going to go well with the chopstick treatment. Okay, so another way to do this, and I still like to use the glass. There are some plastic flasks available, but the glass is the best way of light transmission. So the easiest way, you can use old newspaper. Okay, voila. So this way, the glass is in here. So it's typical of the flask, you have about 25 seed in here. Just throw away all the grass. I'm going to dip this in a 5-cent solution, and what it does is wash out all the agar. Then I have another 5-cent solution dip. Okay. The reason I showed this, I want people to give you a really understand cycle of how we do. And I'm using Phalaenopsis as an example. And 5-cent dip, it gives you the minimum couple minutes. And in the laboratory, tissue culture laboratory, we already told the technician to pick, they always pick the biggest one. So they already do the genetic selection in the lab already. And if we have a lot of flask, a lot of seed, then all the small one, the weak grower, they just discard it, because if a seed pod might have 100,000 seed. So we typically do a mini compound. We'll do 5 of this. And the pre-wetted. Remember the ball method. Just squeeze it one here. You can use a clear pot, or you can just use the 3.5. Okay. And then the moss is pre-moist. And after that, there's a lot of different person have different method, but the try and error for me is because plant has been disinfected with 5-cent already, and then and also the Mega-3. This is pre-moist. The worst thing you can do is to water them. Okay, the trick is once you got a compound like this, leave it alone, because in the process of breaking it, there had to be some kind of leaf surface damage, opening. So once you put in water in, it's not good. And the moss is pre-moist, so they actually okay. Just put it in the lower than your regular growing light area, okay. And sometimes you can also use a zip bag, put it in there, okay, because they were used to be in the glass jar with 100% humidity. Okay, so you can also put it in the plastic cover. Okay, the only thing you spray on that is you can spray Mega-3 on that. Okay, then I can put it into a plastic bag, and I've done this before. So if you are in the rural, if you're in Florida outside, no problem, don't do that. If you are indoor, and I would prefer you do it indoor, because you have less pathogen that in South Florida outside. When you have a lot of rain, you got to have a lot of pathogen in the air. So put it inside is better, but inside, whether you have air condition or heater, it's going to be drier. So about 50–60%. So for the first couple of weeks, anyway, at least first couple week. Put in the plastic bag, and every day, open up for maybe half an hour. Next day, open up for 1 hour, and then close it. So let them gradually used to the dryer outside, because remember, they were in the tube, 100% humidity. So that way they gradually used to the dryer temperature, and they'll be okay. So then you have what we call the miniature community pot. And community pot is one way to raise economical seeding. We rarely use it, but we might raise it. But sometimes we offer the community pot. But from community pot like this, I like to put at least 5, put about 6 in there, and we guarantee 5. So you can tell there are some will be growing faster than the other. Okay, so from here, so this is about from this stage to this stage about 6 to 8 months in my greenhouse condition. If you go under light, break your heart. You're gonna grow a lot faster, because this is, we did it last summer. Last summer, then by October, November, winter comes. Short day, long night. So the over the winter, they kind of stop. They stop active growing again about March, when the daylight is longer. So if you are growing compound like this or baby plant like this, I would recommend have a nice setup for under light. Okay, Jeff have a beautiful light. Set it at least 16 hours for vegetative stage. Then from this stage, you go to what we call, after 6 to 8 months, you take the biggest one or the smallest one, you go to what we call the seeding size, 1.25 inch pot. And then for another, from this side, for another 6 to 8 months, you go to the 2.5 inch pot. Okay, so this is usually what I call the mature side or flowering side, at least for novelty anyway, that I should like to sell. I don't like to sell the small one, because unless I don't want the beginner, especially the novelty, to the smaller. If you never grow novelty before, I would always get the biggest one available, because the mature plant are less forgiving. So by the time they get to this size, from the flask to this size, we talk about almost 3 years to flower. Okay, and then what's the difference between when we sell the mature size and the premium? Premium usually take at least 1 more year. So this is why the difference between the premium size, the regular mature size, and the premium. Premium size is usually extra year to 2 years. And this is the maximum of 2 years. And from this side, look at it. This is what I like about, people like about novelty. Okay, this has, from this side to this side, is about 2 years. And the moss, if you go under my construction, now my instruction earlier before, they are good for 2 years. Water them, drench them, let the moss have a chance to dry out. Okay, and the novelty like this, I actually can do a repotting and what we call the pot up. Okay, but this is what the novelty. So you have now a complete sort of life cycle of orchid. So typically from beginning, for example, this is a Sanderiana alba, and we have such alba before, Sanderiana before, and this is a very rare alba. And I just asked my assistant Brian earlier to do a selfing of the Sanderiana alba. And then here is the regular Sanderiana that everybody familiar with. Okay, so then we're going to do a sibling of the Sanderiana alba onto a very regular, really nice Sanderiana too. And then this Sanderiana is one of the two I select from this spring. I like the brush pink. Okay, so this is going to be softened again to retain that They're not the biggest Sandriana, but I like the white lip and the brush center. So we want to do a selfing to retain the trace, the trait for that. And without look, this is how you know it's a Sandriana, because this is definitely not a marvelous. You see the lip, you see the white, the pink? Okay, yeah. So we are very, very lucky. We flower about 500 from this seed pod, and the pollen is a wild strain from the Philippines. And so we always very grateful for our friends from the Philippines to send me the pollen. Now we have access. So to my surprise, maybe less than 5% of that population have white come out like this. Then we out of the white, then we pick out the, some of the best one, and we share some of this with the Huntington Botanic Garden. So some of this strain will be forever safe at the Huntington Botanic Garden. Okay, so this is the life cycle. So this is what we call the asexual, okay, propagation. And give this a try. Sometimes in my catalog I have NF number, and there's always a disclaimer. These are seeding population. There will be every one of them will be different, unless they are seed, unless they are species. You know, species is species. Unless they are white strain, they'll be all going to white. Okay. But if they are hybrid, they'll be all different. But think about this way: buying the seeding, almost like you are flowering something really unique, only you have. You're not going to have, nobody going to have a unique, a particular individual seed except yourself. And then you can get up a cultivar. You can name after your favorite daughter, son, and then when you enter for at the Orchid Society judging, you know, they might get a blue ribbon. Sometimes the judges like it so much, they might nominate it off the floor and give it an award. So this is how the label is so important. Alrighty, so that will complete today's sexual propagation of orchid. So I'm just using the Phalaenopsis as an example, but this is the same theory go to Cattleya, Cataseedium, Cymbidium, Paphiopedium. Pretty much the same, all right? And I was continue for the tip of the week, and after that, we will stop, and that's where Jeff do the editing, so post on the YouTube. Oh, by the way, on YouTube, Jeff usually about 2 weeks will post on YouTube. If you're not on the YouTube channel yet, or if you you can subscribe it, and Jeff will edit it, some of the stuff. Okay, you can leave the chestnut part in there. Okay, so I'm going to do the tip of the week. Okay, remember 2 weeks ago, I think a month ago, we have the tip of the week on what to do with when orchid have crown rot, right? Okay, this is the one, remember, had a crown rot. Well, actually, this one had it's talk about the worst of everything. It had the flower spike from the center. Okay, and people thought, oh, it's dying. No, it's a type of physiology. Okay, because Phalaenopsis is a monocot. They cannot have little shoot. Okay, so a lot of times when the physiology of the plant become really tired and all, especially genetic, some of the Doryctenopsis do that. One of the causes can be cause the plant to have flower spot on the center, could be the pesticide you spray. Okay, this is why I will do a segment on how to really save on applying pesticide and chemical, so you don't have this kind of response. Sometimes they overdose. You absorb too much of the pesticide and damage the growing tips. So the plant thought they die, so they have flower, and the flower from the center. Okay, so this was, and this one we did 5 cents, concentrated 5 cents, because it has some crown rot in there. We put a 5 cents in there, and then also 2 weeks ago, the 5 cents stopped the crown. Then I thought, then we also did the 2-in-1. Remember the 2-in-1? We did it on on the side because it's actually losing the plant. So what we did is we did the side before, and 2 weeks later, I got a cakey. Okay, so even there's no guarantee that you're going to save the plant using physin from the crown, but at least I make a decision to do a cakey paste from the basal, and sure enough, the plant, the root is still healthy. So they're doing a lot of wonderful stuff behind here, and now you got a cakey. So this is the side crown of the plant. So you can actually, I can remove all this old leaf now. But at least I saving the plant. So now do not repot them, okay? Let the plant. The worst you can do to the plant right now is to try to repot them. The root is wonderful, okay? And always keep the plant on the dry side. Okay, this is very dry, but it's still moist. Okay, just leave it alone, and we will come back to visit this plant every 2-3 weeks. Okay, and we put it here. Okay, and then last week I forgot to do the cakey repotting. When we did the asexual and we did a lot of the cakey. Okay, so this is all the cakey we got from the Nobel. Okay, so these 4 are all the same. So I have a lot of this, but there's 2 ways to do this. Where's my physin? Okay, make it dry. Okay, remember we set, no, make it dry. Okay, this is fine. Throughout the week, I also constantly spray them with make it dry. Okay, then I'm going to put it in the orchid bark mix. Before I do that, I'm going to give it a good soak of make it dry. Okay, this make it dry solution is always good when you're doing the repotting, and make sure you submerge the leaf. The every part of the plant is okay, and don't worry about the growth. Make it dry is a bioenzyme, and the enzyme was developed initially researchers on corn, so there's not pesticide or anything, and it probably is biostimulant. It probably gonna stimulate the carnitine solution. And last week, remember, carnitine is the natural carnitine from corn, and that's what they use for cosmetic. So it might be good for your skin. Okay, and I got 5 of this. So, also because I'm a commercial, I do not want. I can do an individual plant, but sometimes the individual plant do not respond as well. But I want to save space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is file this together. For some reason, they do better as a community, and this is what we call a community pot. Okay. Now this is dendrobium. Okay, so this is orchid bark. Okay, so the reason I soak it in physin, make it dry, because that now is wet, and this is pre-moist. I'm going to do it with compost earlier, put it in a greenhouse, or somewhere nice and cool, not too hot, and do not water them. If you water them right now, guess what? There's an advantage of not to water. In the process of drying out, it sends a signal to the plant. I need to put out more fresh root, to put out new root to absorb the moisture and water. What happens if you water them right now? The physiology of the plant is, okay, this plant here wet. I do not need to put a new root. But at this particular stage, we want to put a new root of their own. Okay, and from here, maybe 2 months later, when they're all nice and grown, then you can go in, pick them up and put it in the individual, maybe 2-inch pot by themselves. That way. So this is how you do it, plant your keiki, and it's the same theory, whether it's Phalaenopsis too. Okay. So thank you, and we'll stay tuned for the show and tell this week.
How many days not to water?
minimum 2 weeks. But providing that if they got, because you got to mix them, either water or make it dry. But make it dry at least once a week, and regular plain water, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, depending on where you are. If I am in California right now at home, my AC is on, okay, they're going to be drier. So it really depends on you, everybody's own situation. But the idea is you do not want to let them dehydrate.